All right, let's get started with 1-1 solving simple equations. This is also called solving one-step equations. All right, so a one-step equation is an equation that we can solve in doing one step. Meaning, I just have to do one thing and I get my answer. So all of these equations that we see today will have an answer, and I can check to see if I'm right. And we'll go over that as well. So what am I talking about? An answer, we'll get something like x equals a number, y equals a number, z equals a number, a equals a number. And we can take that and plug it back into our equation to see if it holds true. So today we're going to use inverse operations. So the whole lesson today is this. Ben, if I say up, you say?
Down.
If I say left, Dan, you say?
Right.
Zach, if I say on, you say?
Off.
If I say day, you say what, Emily?
What's the question?
If I say day, you say, what's the opposite of day?
Night.
Night. So if I say add, you say what, Brendan?
Subtract.
Yeah. And Vinny, if I say multiply, you say?
Divide.
All right, that's the whole lesson. That's it. It's literally it. So right down here, we have 6 examples that I'm going to run through. So I need to figure out how to undo a -3. And Brendan kind of told me, I said add, he said subtract. So if I add 3, I have x equals -2. And I can check that by taking my original equation and substituting that back in. And does -2 minus 3 equal -5? Yep. Now, to do number 2, the variable's on the right, but it doesn't matter. I'm trying to undo a -2.8. And again, Brendan told me that, and I subtract 2.8. Those cancel. Y is on the right, and 0.9 minus 2.8 is -1.9. So if I want to check this, I can write my original equation. I can take what y is equal to, and I can plug it in. And I can do, -1.9 plus 2.8, and I can get 0.9 equals 0.9. Now, the reason why math is so beautiful to me and why I love math is when I'm done a problem or I'm done a test, I know how I did. I'm like, yeah, I did well on this test, or I got this topic. Or I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. Why? Because I get an answer at the end, and in math, there's only like a handful of answers to like every problem. Most of the problems you'll deal with will only have one answer. Some might have 2. Later on in life, you might have like 7 or 8 answers, but I know if I got it right because I can plug those numbers back in and it should balance out.
Mr. Harmon,
What's that?
Ryan Anderson can't get in. He wanted me to tell you.
Tell him he needs to go on to Schoology and click the link.
All
It's
right.
a new link. All right, so for number 3, I have plus 2/5. So you have to subtract 2/5. Ronan, what is 3/5 minus 2/5?
1/5.
And there we go. Nicely done. When we have common denominators, I can just subtract the numerator and go from there. Now in number four is a little tricky because this negative is up top. So I'm actually going to move that negative down bottom. And I'm going to write this as n divided by -5 equals -3. So now how do I undo -5? I multiply by -5. And that gives me n equals 15. Lily, how would I get rid of times 1.3?
Divide.
Divide. So in number 5, I will divide each side by 1.3. So I have z equals 4, because I just typed that into calculator. And Dan, since your team is 3-0, which looks like I'll be doing push-ups. Dan, how about you tell me how I do number 6? Because number 6 is tricky, so I'm going to start. How about it, Dan?
Don't you have to like flip the fraction and like multiply it on both sides?
Man, just like your team, you're staying perfect. Okay? So what Dan is saying is we need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is the flipping part. So the 5s cancel, the 3s cancel. Now, Dan, this is something that you may or may not know. I wouldn't be surprised if you knew. But I don't do this stuff with a calculator. So when I'm doing 6 times 5/3, this is what I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking 6 times 5 is 30, divided by 3 is 10. Now, on the next page, there are problems 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I would like you guys to take a couple minutes and do these 6 problems. Go ahead and get started now. Mr. Anderson, we're just on 1.1, solving one-step equations. We just got to problem 7 through 12, and I'm recording this, so I'll put it up and you can get caught up. And while you're doing these problems, I'll take a moment to just talk about it. Now that we are fully in chapter 1, the one thing I will tell you is this. Please be mindful of doing your IXLs on time. The first kind of chapter, I'm pretty lenient with like when things are due, but as we move further into the year, there's a little bit more expectation that we're doing assignments on time. So right now we haven't incurred any late penalties for anything, but there will be a time when we have to kind of just be like, hey, this has been going on for too long. So just bringing it up for you. And let's keep this going. Olivia.
Yeah.
Olivia, you there?
Yeah.
How did you do number 7?
I subtracted 3 from both sides and got n equals -10.
Perfect. Olivia said she subtracted 3 from both sides and got n equals -10. Nicely done. Mrs. Simonian, haven't heard from you in a hot minute. How would I do number 8?
Add 1/3 to both sides, and G will equal 3/3 or 1.
Perfect. Now, what I want you guys to notice is Mrs. Simonian said 3/3, but then she said 1, because we're going to reduce our fractions, okay? Now, Benny boy,
Yeah,
where'd you go camping?
I went to Cherry Springs State Park.
Oh, nice, nice. Is that like one of the dark spots where you can see like the Milky Way?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what would be really nice is if you could lead me out of this dark spot here in number 9 and tell me
All
how
right.
to solve for pig.
Well, see, what you want to do is you want to get the positive number and you want to subtract it from one side and add it to the other. So it would be, hold on. I need to do this again.
So then when you said added it to the other side, do you mean like I just do -3.9 to both sides? Or did you mean like I add to both sides?
Well, I meant like you subtract it from the other side. So you subtract it from the -6.5 side.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then you would get, hold on.
5 plus 9 is 14. Carry my 1. 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus... What'd you get, Ben?
I got -10.4 equals P.
Me too. Me too. Lily.
Yeah.
Lily. How would I do number 10?
Well, first I flipped the fraction.
Okay. So I have like 1/3, so I'm multiplying by like 3/1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these cancel, and I'm left with y equals what?
-18.
Awesome. Miss Salazar, you there?
Yeah.
Listen, I might have to pull over to the Seahawks for blowing through all the teams. I am very grateful to them for trashing the Cowboys. Very grateful.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But I would be even more grateful if you could tell me how to do number 11.
Okay. Let me look at my thing.
So it says 0.05 times W.
Yeah.
So how do I undo that?
You divide.
Okay. Now this is a decimal, so you might need a calculator, right? Because I'm dividing by a decimal. So do you happen to know, or do you have a calculator that has 1.4 divided by 0.05?
Is it 28?
It is 28. Nicely done. All right, last but not least, Mateo.
Yeah.
Mateo, how do I do number 12? It's a fraction. It scares me.
And I don't know. I was having trouble with this one.
That's okay. Let's have trouble on this one together. Now, I remember Dan saying something about flipping. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's flip that fraction. When I flip it, what do I get?
You get negative or
Negative?
one. Yeah, negative 1 or negative 8/3.
Okay. Now, I like that because I see this 8 up here and I see that 8 down there. And I see this 3 and that 3. So I like that. Okay, I like that because all those things with the variable cancel it out. Now I have to figure out what is 21 times negative 8/3. Now I could do 21 times 8 and get 168 and then do divide by 3, right? And I know my answer is negative, so I can put that there. But, Mateo, what is 21 divided by 3?
7, isn't it?
What's 7
Yeah.
times 8?
56.
There you go. You got it. All right. 4 problems left. We got 4 word problems. Cassidy,
Yes.
Cassidy, I just have a question. It's easy. Do you know who Usain Bolt is?
Yes.
Who's Usain Bolt?
The fastest guy.
Fastest guy. Do you know how fast he is?
I just know he's fast. I don't know.
Oh, we're about to find out how fast he is. So, Cassie, in 2012, Usain Bolt won the 200-meter dash with a time of 19.32 seconds. Write and solve an equation. Well, I'm just going to solve it because it's just easy. Now, I have this equation, D equals RT. So, D is 200 meters. Rate is what I'm after, and the time is 19.32 seconds. And if I divide both sides by 19.32 seconds, I'm going to get my rate because rate is like miles per hour, like m over, seconds here. So Cassie, can you tell me what 200 divided by 19.32 is?
Yes. Give me 1 second. $10.
3.
Oh, okay. 10.3.
What's the next number after that?
5.
5. Now, you still don't know how fast that is, do you?
No.
All right. You've been in Springton Lake, correct?
What did you say? Sorry.
Have you been in Springton Lake?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. But he'll serve the purpose. Who was your math teacher last year?
Mr. Booth.
Mr. Booth? Bill Booth? Nice guy. Nice guy. Now, imagine Mr. Booth's classroom. Do you know how it's like you walk in and it's like his desk is like as soon as you walk in, like straight in front of you? You know that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now imagine his room long ways, right? Like going left to right. Usain Bolt would run from essentially one side of the room to the other side of the room, probably further than that, in 1 second. 1 second. Now for Dan, this is how fast he is, Dan. Now Tyreek Hill, we know Tyreek Hill is fast, okay? Now Tyreek Hill is the fastest person in all of the NFL. But Usain Bolt is so much faster, okay, that Usain Bolt would go from the goal line to the 10 yards in 1 second. That means he would run the entire football field, okay? The entire football field in less than 10 seconds. Isn't that insane? Now, suppose Usain Bolt ran 400 meters. Well, we know in 200 meters, it took him 10.35 seconds. How long would it take him to go 400 meters? Ryan. You there, Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan, how can I figure out how fast Usain Bolt would run 400 meters?
just times the 200 meters times 2.
Perfect. That's exactly the answer I want to hear here. So that would be 20.76 seconds. Now, do you guys know how far 400 meters is? Zach, do you know how far 400 meters is? You can say no.
No.
That's okay. Brendan, how about you? Do you know how far 400 meters is?
No.
All right. Do you guys know in gym class when you go out to the track? Do you know how far 400 meters is on that track? It's 1 lap. Now, I was pretty fast. I'm old now, but I was pretty fast. And I used to run a lap in just over 60 seconds, full out sprint, 60 seconds. Usain Bolt would run 3 laps in the time it took me to run 1 lap. That's how fast that man is. 1 lap around the track in 20 seconds. Think about that. Turn the page. We have 2 problems left, and I'm going to make it quick. On January 22nd, 1943, the temperature in Spearfish, South Dakota, I have no idea where that is, fell from 54 degrees Fahrenheit at 9 a.m. to 4 degrees below at 9:27. It's asking me, how much did the temperature fall? So when I'm trying to find like how much is between 2 numbers, I subtract them. 2 negatives make a positive. Oop, I gave you the answer. Sorry, gave you the answer. So when I'm trying to figure it out, I subtract the 2 numbers and I get 58 degrees Fahrenheit. So in less than 30 minutes, the temperature fell 58 degrees. Now to put that in perspective for you, it's this. We walk outside today. Right now, it's roughly 72 degrees outside. In 30 minutes from now, at 9:30, the temperature would be below 0. Or not below 0, below freezing. It would actually be, it would be like 14 degrees outside. That's insane. Now, you thought the balance in your checking book was $68. But then you got a statement that says it was actually $26. How much do you write a check for? Well, if I do 68 minus 26, I get $42. So the check was for $42.